This is what I was working on today. Just found this old frame that was left here before with some crappy old painting. It's got this kind of plastic surface to it. I don't know if you can see it. It's actually got like a canvas board type of feel to it, a little bit textured. So I was just sucking in all the oil paint at first, but then I got it to start working after I got a couple layers on. So I've been working on that. Finally, my space is starting to feel like a real space. Still got to get that frost stuff for the window, but got some paint on all the walls. And I really am digging on this studio gray. Got these paintings out, starting to feel studio-ishy. Also thinking about, how am I going to set this up? We're going to just have two people painting. It'll be pretty nice. So each person will get a table, and it'll just be me painting and then a student painting right there. Probably set up a still life right here in the middle of the room. That'll be good. So yeah, it's been going pretty well. Just finished up my Zoom class. The silence, right? The silence of Zoom classes is always something to deal with. I wonder, maybe I could start wearing headphones when I'm Zooming or something like that, because it's just so quiet. It makes you think, like, how often do we really deal with quietness, especially just like I'm doing right now, talking to myself, and it's totally quiet, but at least I'm just talking to myself. When you talk to a group of people and nobody answers, and then all of a sudden it's like, okay, do you have any questions? And you gotta stare at the camera. Just look into the abyss. So yeah, been thinking about screens, been minimizing my screen time lately. Had a good day of that, just thinking about that urge. I wonder if there's a word for it. The urge that we have to just go on to social media, and how we rotate between different social media platforms. I think that's really interesting as well. We kind of use social media in like little spurts. So we'll go on Instagram for a second, then we'll go on Facebook, then we'll go to Reddit, then we'll go back to Instagram, then we'll go back to Facebook, then we'll go back to Reddit. And it kind of goes in this cycle. And I think just being cognizant of that cycle existing, like what's happening when you're, just flipping between these different apps, checking on news, checking on comments, all this sort of stuff. What are you actually being fulfilled? It's obviously fulfilling you in some way. Otherwise, you wouldn't keep coming back and wanting to do it again and again. You wouldn't have an urge to do it if you weren't getting something out of it. So I'm trying to think about, what am I actually getting when I switch to Facebook from Instagram or start looking at Reddit? What am I actually trying to get when I go on these websites? And I'm not saying, obviously, I'm on YouTube right now, talking to you through a YouTube screen. So I'm not saying it's like a bad thing necessarily, that we all shouldn't be on our phones all the time. But painting is kind of in a weird place, because it's one of those things that is so analog by its very nature. It's just a really analog medium. It's essentially dirt, that gets smeared around some fabric. And so it's a really, really analog medium. Even though we experience most of the paintings that we experience now, we experience through a screen. And especially with COVID, we just got accelerated into this screen obsession, this delving into our own avatars and creating the way we look. And I'm sure this has all sorts of terrible consequences on just how young girls see themselves as well, with all these filters and body manipulation and warping. And not just girls, everybody. So that's what's going on in a lot of my paintings, is this breakdown between the real and the digital. Pretty simple subject. A lot of people are doing it, obviously, because a lot of people are living it. And I feel like that is really the time that we're living in, because we've created a digital social reality. You know, I'm in a real building. For some reason, I'm paying money to have an actual studio on the street, right? There's a street. There's people out there. I want real humans to be able to walk into my studio and sit down right next to me and paint with me. You know, I think in this day and age, there's so many Zoom things, there's so many workshops, all this internet, online activities, and everybody wants to monetize them. It's their simple way to monetize. But really, this spot, there's going to be a human painting, and I'm going to be painting right next to them. And that's the best way that I ever learned, that's for sure, was just going out, drawing. I did it with John Twingley, who's a really awesome illustrator. But we went out and we drew a liger. I feel like it was the Tiger King, but I don't know. It looked like the Tiger King guy came to North Dakota. Like, man, it would have been 20 years ago, I guess, which would be in line. But yeah, somebody brought it. He had a mullet. There's probably a lot of mullets out there, but he had a liger. And I remember we just went down to the zoo and drew tigers and a liger. I was like, that thing was huge. Why is there a liger? What is a liger? But anyway, we also went down to a carnival and drew together, and that was awesome. So yeah, drawing with real people trumps drawing on Zoom. Hopefully I get one person to agree every month. That's my goal. I just want to have one student a month. Not shooting high, but I don't need to. I don't want more than one student. I already got enough. I got enough digital students. If I want to be a mentor, I want to deal with one person. So hopefully I'll find somebody who resonates with my work and also wants to improve theirs.